Okay, so everyone, welcome back to Kol Shira in partnership with Reslov.org and of course Yeshiva Torah Shimon. Okay, Parshat Va'Eschanan. Baruch Hashem, we made it. We made it past the 3 weeks. This Shabbos is a very special Shabbos. Nachamu, Ami, Yomer Lekeichem. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll speak a little bit about that in Mirz Hashem. There's a lot of things to talk about in the Parsha itself. So let's talk about the Parsha itself. Va'Eschanan, what does the word mean? Va'Eschanan means to pray. Rashi says Va'Eschanan. Eschanan is a type of a word that comes from the word chinam. Comes from the word chinam, where Moshe Rabbeinu is davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That let me have a matnas chinam to come into Eretz Yisrael. Please, let it be a free gift. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu had a lot of things he could have asked, because of this, because of that. But Moshe Rabbeinu is davening 515 tefillos, in order to come into Eretz Yisrael. It was so near and dear to him, it's unbelievable to realize that. His desire, his longing, his yearning, his pining to be able to come into Eretz Yisrael. So we'll talk about that. Okay. We have in the parish also the Aseres Adibros, and there's many differences between the Aseres Adibros that's found in Parshas Yisroi to the ones that we have now in our parsha, and the Aseres Adibros of Va'Eschanan. Okay, we also talk about, we have Baruch Hashem, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Baruch Hashem, right? Being Mekabel Ol Malchus Shemayim, the passages of Shema are the passages that Jews have held by over the thousands of years, and the Jews have gone through all the suffering with the words of Shema Yisrael. All those Jews that walked into the gas chambers, Hashem Yimkam Damam, they walked into the gas chamber with the word Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Unbelievable. These words are so special, so profound. We'll talk about them in Mirz Hashem. We also have the 3 Arei Miklat, the cities of refuge that Moshe Rabbeinu established. Those cities, even though Moshe Rabbeinu established those cities didn't go into effect until until Eretz Yisrael, with the kibush of Eretz Yisrael was completed. Those 3 cities of refuge were set up, and then the 3 cities Me'ever LeYarden were also activated. Okay. We see in the parasha also that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling Moshe to give Yoshua a lot of strength. Give Yoshua, strengthen Yoshua. He's going to be able to go into Eretz Yisrael, but you're not going to be able to go into Eretz Yisrael. There's so much written on this. So there's something very interesting I saw. It's brought down in the Kisvei Arizal. It's found in the Zohar. Something very, very interesting that happened here, and let's try to understand this. We know that on Tisha B'Av in the Midbar, every Tisha B'Av night, the Jews would dig thousands of graves, and the Jews that were in that category between 20 to 60. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you're not going to be able to come into Eretz Yisrael because of the ched of the Meraglim, the spies. So they would lie in their graves. They would lie in the graves. And those that got up in the morning, it wasn't their time, they got up and they went on with their business. Those that passed away, they buried them. This last Tisha B'Av, they all did the same thing. And came the morning, and they all got up. Nobody died. Wow, so they made a calculation. Wait a second. Maybe there's a problem with the tarikh, with the dates. Maybe we have a problem with the date. So the 10th, they did the same thing. And the 11th, and the 12th, and the 13th. When it came to the night of the 14th, they saw the full moon. They saw the full moon, and they said, no, it has to be that we didn't make a mistake, because if you see the full moon, that means it's already the half month, and it can't be the 10th. So Hashem said, yeah, you're right. You're all going to go into Eretz Yisrael. There's just one person that's not going in. And who is that? Moshe Rabbeinu. Everyone there, at that time, was going into Eretz Yisrael. The only one that won't go in is Moshe Rabbeinu. Could you imagine how Moshe Rabbeinu felt? Could you imagine? We spoke about Moshe Rabbeinu, that he set up the that he set up the lands of Sichon and Og, right? Ammon, right? He set up these lands, and he said that this was going to be part of Eretz Yisrael. So he felt that he's already in Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Evra nah. Let me please pass through. Let me cross over the Yarden. Let me go over the Yarden. He's standing on the east bank. He wants to cross over to be in Eretz Yisrael. Evra nah. Listen to this. No. The gematria is 51. The Yarden is 50 amas. 50 amas wide. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Evra nah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, let me cross over the 50 amas of the Yarden, and let me have one amma. Let me have just one amma in Eretz Yisrael. I'm happy with that. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, if you don't want to let me go in to Eretz Yisrael alive, fine. I'll go in dead. Let me be buried in Eretz Yisrael. If you don't want to let me go in as being a leader, that's fine. I don't care. I'll go in Yoshua. I'll give him the strength, and he'll be the leader, and I'll just be a regular follower. Hashem said no. He says, please, Hashem, can I be a bird? Make me a bird. Let me fly over Eretz Yisrael. Hashem said no. And Hashem brings up something very interesting to him. He says, you know why? Because I forgave the Jewish people at the golden calf. Chiddush nifla. What does it have to do? What does it have to do with the Egel Hazav, which was 40 years ago? It's in the past. Hashem said, Salachti kidvarecha back then. Why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu bringing up now again the idea of the golden calf at this point? You know what happened? Moshe Rabbeinu said, Hashem, you made a promise that Moshe and Aharon won't go into Eretz Yisrael. But Hashem, since Aharon passed away, and now it's just me, so half the shua was batel. So if half the shua is batel, so just be mevatel the whole shua and let me go in. Hashem says, no. You can't do that. You can't tell me that Aharon's dead. Why? Listen to these words. I'm telling you, it's half of a fella. Back at the Ched of Egel, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, find me 10 people. Find me 10 tzaddikim amongst the Jewish people. Find me 10 tzaddikim, and I will forgive the Jewish people. Moshe was looking. He found Aharon. He found Miriam, and he's looking and he's trying to find. He came up with 7 people. He came up with 7. He couldn't come up with 10. So you know what he said? Rebbeinu Shalom, Zacharis Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael avadecha. Zechor es Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yisrael avadecha. Remember, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Why? Because tzaddikim b'misasam are still kruyim chayim. A tzaddik, when he's dead, the tzaddik is still called alive. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Aaron, said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you're right, fine. Salachti kidvarecha. Like you just said, Salachti kidvarecha, now you have your 10. You have 7, and now we'll include Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and there you will have 10. Okay? Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe, wait, Moshe. You're telling me you want me to be mevatel the gezerah because that you can't go into Eretz Yisrael because Aharon passed away. Well, if Aharon passed away, and you told me 40 years ago, and I agreed with you that a tzaddik, even when he passes away, is still called alive. So then, Moshe Rabbeinu, it's either or now. Either I will have to cancel the forgiveness from the Jewish people on the Cheda Egel, and then, of course, if I cancel that, in other words, I canceled the forgiveness and they're in trouble, so then of course you can go into Eretz Yisrael. But is that what you want? Moshe Rabbeinu said no. And there you see how Moshe Rabbeinu was a true leader. Here you see Moshe Rabbeinu was the true Rabban Shel Yisrael. He's the true Rav, the rabbi, teacher, and leader of Klal Yisrael. Because Moshe Rabbeinu wanted so desperately to go into Eretz Yisrael. And here HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, you know what? Hey, the Jewish people, they were forgiven because of your svara, and I agreed with your svara. Now, if you want to break that svara, Moshe Rabbeinu says, no. The Jewish people keep their forgiveness. I'll be meichel on that. Here's a very fascinating thing. People don't know. When did Moshe Rabbeinu daven these tefillos, the 515? When did it happen? Did he do it in one day? Did he do it in a few hours? Well, you want to know something? He actually did it from Tu B'Av till Zayin Adar. Tu B'Av till Zayin Adar. Listen to this. Moshe Rabbeinu would daven to Hashem 3 tefillos every day. He left out, he didn't ask on Rosh Chodesh, when it was a Rosh Chodesh, when it was a Yom Tov, he didn't ask for a bakosha. These are bakoshes. And of course on Shabbos, he didn't ask for a bakosha. We don't ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for things on Shabbos. And Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. If you add up 3 times those days, 3 tefillas a day, take out Rosh Chodesh, take out the holidays, take out the Shabbosim, you will come up to exactly 515. I'm telling you, it's amazing to understand this. Unbelievable to understand the deep meaning of everything inside the parsha. It's unbelievable. Now, let's discuss for a second this idea of the Nachamu Ami. We know that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us 7 weeks. 7 weeks, the Zion Parsha of the Haftarahs of the Nechemta. We have the seven beautiful Haftarahs that all of them are Nechama, that are giving us consolation. Do you ever think of why it's 7? What else is 7? You have the 7 weeks of Sfira. The 7 weeks of Sfira is 49 days. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, now 7 days, you do 7 weeks again. So from Tu B'Av to Rosh Hashanah is 45 days. From this parsha, from this Haftarah, till Rosh Hashanah is 45 days. 49 days, 49 days. Now, the same way when it comes to Sfira, and we're preparing ourselves for Kabbalah Satayra, so too when it comes to the 7 weeks, the Zion Shvuyin, the Nechemta, what are we actually doing? Eretz Yisrael is preparing herself for the Chassan. When did we get the second Torah? When did we get the second Luchas Shnias? It came on Yom Kippur. We got prepared. We were preparing the 7 days, and then to come to the Sheva Brach, we were coming to be able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the same level of purity. It's not enough purity for 7 days. It has to be 7 weeks. Again, this is the time that we're preparing ourselves. We spoke about it when it came to Sfira. When we came over there, we were saying that that's time coming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with a sense of love. Now it's coming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu more with a sense of yira, because we're coming close to the Yom Adin. Right? We're coming closer to the Yom Adin. Now we have to all turn back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Of course, we come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with yira. We know that yira is the most important thing we say every morning. Reish is Chachma, Yiras Hashem. Reish is Chachma, Yiras Hashem. If you want to have any kind of Chachma, any kind of wisdom, it's the knowing to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Shulchan Aruch opens up and starts off with the very famous words, Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Samid. Remember that Hashem is with you no matter where you go. You can go wherever you'd like, anywhere in the world, but you're going to take HaKadosh Baruch Hu with you. And why? Because we have our neshama, and the neshama that we have is a chelik elikam imal. Wherever we go, we go with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like we say, you can run, but you can't hide. Why? Because you're going to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there with you. It's coming up to Yom Kippur. We had the story with Yonah, right? Yonah and the fish, right? He tried to hide from Hashem, couldn't hide from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can't hide from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to mamish realize that. And the beautiful Haftorah, it says a double lashon of Nachamu, comfort my people, Nachamu Ami. We're trying to the Navi Yeshai is trying to emphasize here the sense of urgency and importance to convey this strong emotion, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu really wants to console us. He really wants to. It's so beautiful. Even though it's a time of distress for us. It was just Tisha B'Av. We were just sitting on the floor. We said the kinnis. The beautiful, the kinnis are beautiful if you read them through. There's so much chizuk in the kinnis. There's so much chizuk in the kinnis. And there's so much chizuk in Eicha. We learned so many beautiful Torahs out of the Megillah of Eicha. It's read in the somber tone, of course, but there's a lot in there. Right? Kumi Rani Valayla, Rosh Hashmaros, right? Beautiful words. Ashivenu Hashem Elecha v'Nashuva Chadei Shemenu Kikedem. These are beautiful words that we have in the Megillus Eicha. Okay, so this is the idea in general of the parsha, and this is an idea a little bit to have understanding of what was going on in Moshe Rabbeinu's mind, and to really understand that this whole event took place, and it took place over from now all the way to Zion Adar when Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit. So he was davening for this every single day. Every day. It's something so remarkable to think about. But let me ask you something. We daven a lot of times, and sometimes we daven, and we don't see the thing come to fruition that we're davening for. Many times people daven, they want a shidduch. They don't get their shidduch. Many times people are davening, they want children, they don't get their children. Many times they're davening for a sick person, and a lot of people could be davening for a long time, and then the person passes away. So where do all these tefillos go? We're davening and davening and davening. But let's say we're davening for Yankel ben Rochel, okay? Okay, well now we're davening, but then Yankel ben Rochel, he winds up passing away. Now you had hundreds of people davening for Yaakov ben Rochel. So what happened? So the Sfarim will say that there could be other Yaakov ben Rochels in the world, and your tefillah can help them. And when are we going to say that Moshe Rabbeinu davened 515 tefillahs, 3 every day, consecutively, less Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Yontiv, and all his tefillahs? What happened? He didn't get to go into Eretz Yisrael. What happened to all his tefillahs? You ever think of that? We daven. We know any machshava, dibur, maisa that we have, any machshava, any thought, good thought, any dibur, any good word that we say, any maisa, any good action that we do to Hashem, nothing is ever lost. It's always there. So if it's always there, what happened? Where are the tefillahs? Where are they? We have to realize HaKadosh Baruch Hu keeps the tefillahs stored away. He has I guess you could say, a file cabinet. And he puts the tefillahs away. And then when he needs a tefillah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes it out. And he uses that tefillah from that yid, from that time, for this person here, for this thing, for that thing. We daven sometimes this way, and we daven for our children. And the children don't go the right way. But sometimes what happens, we see the grandchildren come back. The grandchildren are religious. The grandchildren are doing well. Amazing. We don't know. The main thing is to constantly daven. We have to constantly daven. There's a story with the Baal Shem HaKadosh that one day he went with his driver, Alexei, right? And he went with the Chevra, and they went on a ride, and they came to this town, and it was time for mincha. And they said, okay, let's find the shul. So they found the shul in the town, and they said, okay, let's go in. So the Baal Shem Tov is looking, and he tells them, we can't go in. And they say, Rebbe, why can't we go in? The shul is so crowded. Really? They didn't see anyone in there. He said the shul is so crowded with tefillah. It's so stuffed up with tefillahs. They never went anywhere. When we daven and we put our heart and we put our mind into our tefillah, and we have kavanah. That kavanah are the gatfin. Those are the wings. Those are the wings that the tefillah needs in order to ascend up on high. But if we're davening, and sometimes we say the word so quick and we're not paying attention, we're just trying to get past it, which is good. Don't ever chas v'sholom stop doing that. Don't ever chas v'sholom stop doing that. Why? Because there will be always a time. There will be always a time that you'll have a good tefillah. It's like the Kotzka has a word on the parsha this week. We say in the Kriya Shema, al levavecha. Place things on your heart. Why he says the Kotzka asked the Holy Kotzka, why al levavecha? To say bilvavecha. Place it in your heart. Why al levavecha? Why on your heart? So the Kotzker says, he says, you know why? Because, many times we go through life and we're not necessarily feeling what's going on. We're doing things more as by rote, and we're not actually putting our effort into our tefillah. We're not putting our effort into our Torah. We're just learning, we're reading, but it's not b'koyach. So he says, well, all those things, they just stay on the heart. All those feelings, all those things stay on the heart. But says the Holy Kotzker, there's going to come a time that it'll be a very happy time for the person, that maybe there'll be a big chasna in the family, and then they'll be so happy, the parents will be so happy, and then the heart will open, and the heart will be opened. That lave of Even will crack open, and then all of the Torah, all of the things you put on the heart, now will go into the heart, and will be benefited by the heart. The person will be benefited by everything. Before it was just on the heart, but now it opened up. He says also sometimes that doesn't help. So then HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends a tragedy to the family. Hashem Yishmerenu. Lo yaleinu v'lo yaleichem. And then the heart opens. The heart opens. And then it goes in. But the main thing we have to know is you have to daven. You're always davening, whether you feel it or not. Why? Because then you created something. You created something. Okay, the thing that you created is damaged, but it's something that you created and it can be repaired. If you have something, you can repair it. If you have nothing, you can't repair it. So therefore, it's always important, no matter what the machshava, whatever it is, always daven, always speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His Baidus, speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, try with all your heart, use your words, even though someone will say to you, where does it say I have to have his Baidus? Where does it say that? Where does it say that? Where does it say I have to talk to Hashem? I go to shul, I daven, I go to Ma'ariv every night, I'm there early in the morning for Shachris, I do my mincha, I do my learning. Who said I have to talk to Hashem? You're right. Doesn't say anywhere. But it's a prerequisite. If you want to have a connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like Rabbi Tauber always says, if you want to get to know somebody, you have to speak to them. Right? If you want to know Hashem, you have to speak to Hashem. But not speak to Hashem in the words that the Anshe Knesset Agadola and Chazal set up for us to say. Yeah, of course we say those words, and they're the required words. Of course they are, and we do that. But to have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, these are the ideas of the parsha. I hope everyone understands these ideas. They're all very nice ideas that can really, really help us. Now I want to take a look at something it says over here. It's a pasuk in the parsha. Ubikashte misham es Hashem elikecha matzasa im yeh nidachacha. If you'll be pushed away, you'll search for Hashem, and from there, matzasa im yeh nidachacha, you'll find Hashem if you're pushed away. So listen to these words. Rav Nosson has this as it's a very beautiful Torah. He writes like this: Isa b'kisvei Arizal. He says that you can find it in the Pri Eitz Chaim in Shar Kuf Shin Perik Gimel and the Bekavanas. We say every morning these words, right? Nahava Rabba Hava Soilam. Right? Rav Nosson says you should always have in mind when you do that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help to bring back all of those Jews that fell away. And boy, do we have a lot of them today. We have a lot of them that fell away. We have so many of the Jews that today that are protesting. They're protesting for the two-state solution. We have Jews like that. So instead of being angry at them, daven for them. Daven for them. They have a spark of Elikus in them too. But it has to be awakened. It has to be awakened. There's a light. That's the neshama is a light bulb. So sometimes the light bulb is off, right? You go into a room, right? You go into a room at night. It's dark. It's dark. So what do? You turn on the light. Oh, it's bright. We can beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take all of those Yidden that are away, the Rechaikim, all those Jews that are Rechaikim, and Hashem turn on the light in them. Light their light. Turn on their light. Flip the switch on them, so they also can come back. That's something that we can all do. Instead of looking down at other people and this and other Yidden in this, rather don't look down at other Yidden. Rather try to daven and bring them back. So look what he says now. Shebechol mokim ba'olam she'echad miYisrael nidcha l'sham b'golus b'arba kanfei zaretz. Wherever there's a Jew that's stuck and lost in whatever he's lost in, as if we're all stuck there with him. It says that we are all arevim zel lazeh. We take care of each other. We're all responsible for another. Kilu kol Yisrael golu l'sham. By yedei mevar nitzaitzais, and through that sparks can be clarified. They can be elevated. By yedei boyin l'Eretz Yisrael. And through that, those people will come to Eretz Yisrael. Those are the words of the Pri Eitz Chaim. Now let's understand these words. It doesn't make sense. So what are you going to tell me, that the Jews are going to be scattered me'arba kanfei haaretz, and through that's going to bring them back to Eretz Yisrael? Let's see Rav Nosson explains it. Ayin sham baricha shezeh soid mashi Yisrael mefuzorin achsha begolas. This is the reason why that Klal Yisrael at this point we are gathered, we are scattered. We are scattered amongst the nations. Some places they're very, very distant then from Kedusha. You have Jews that are in Las Vegas. The other day there was an Israeli there. What he was doing there, I don't know, but they killed him because he was an Israeli. They robbed him and killed him. Jews are all over. This idea why they were pushed to these places is very hidden from us. We don't understand why. We see we see that there are places that are far away from Jewish communities. He says, like in that time where Rav Nosson was writing it, the Enlightened movement, the headquarters was in Moscow, right? The Enlightened movement. So you had a Yid that went from his little shtetl, and he made his way to the big city of Moscow. Nitchu l'sham Yehudim muatim. There's a few Jews there. V'dorim bein har beyakum. And they're living amongst many, many, many Gentiles. Yehudim meisei ma'at. They're very, very few. Ad sheyesh aroes harachaykim yoyse she'enim sam sham Yisraelim kiyim echad oishnayim b'yer gedoyla. There's some places you'll go, and there's only one or two Jews in the whole town, in the whole city. Wow. Rubam kikulam einam sadikim klal v'alevai hayu beinim. Rav Nosson says these Jews that disconnected themselves from the Jewish communities, and they moved to these remote places. They didn't go to these remote places because they wanted to get closer to Hashem, closer to the Torah, closer to the tzaddikim. He says that it would have been good if they were even baiting him. Baiting him is very good. It's a very good thing. Why are you baiting him? But they're very, very distant from Hashem. Rav Nosson says, I'm not going to speak a lot about this because, like he always says, V'amevin Yovin. We all understand this. Because I don't want to speak bad about any Jews. Rav Nosson loves every Jew. He doesn't want to speak bad about them. As Chazal tell us, even a Paishei Yisrael, a Jew that's a heretic, he's a heretic. He doesn't believe in Hashem. He says he doesn't believe in Hashem. That Jew is also filled with mitzvahs kirimai, like a pomegranate. You ever open up a pomegranate? How many seeds are in a pomegranate? Lot. They say there's 613 seeds in a pomegranate. I know. I never counted them. I don't know. All right. But the problem is, the Svarim say, what's the thing that they're full? They're 630. Their Rishayim are like a Rimain. You know why they're like a Rimain? Because none of their mitzvahs have continuity. The same way in the Rimain, you have all of those veins, right? The seeds are in between the veins, and they're not connected. That's the way of a Rasha. But they're special. They still have their neshama inside them. And that's why Rav Nosson says, let's not talk bad about them. V'im kain, echev shelahavin zois. Shal yedei anoshim ka'elu yisrabu anitzoytzeis ma'umkei aklipos ka'elu. So wait a second, we just established that these are not the creme de la creme of the Jews. So how are these people going to elevate sparks? How are they going to do that? Me'umkei klipas, from the depths of the klipas, the husks of impurity. How are they going to be able to extract? How are they going to be able to extract that spark of holiness that was mixed into all of the impurity? Rav Nosson says these are part of the wonders of Hashem, and it's impossible for us to understand this. Vaklal. Shikra Agolus hu Agolus Vasrachakus Me'eretz Yisrael. We know the main Golus is that we're distant from Eretz Yisrael. Right? We have Jews living in all countries around the world. Right? We have Baruch Hashem, we have the majority of Jews are in Eretz Yisrael, but there are equal amount of Jews in other places. Right? Add them up, there's just as many. It's unbelievable. But that's Golus. That's what does Golus mean? You're not part of Eretz Yisrael. Shu Klal Kedusha, and the Eretz Yisrael has the Klal of Kedusha, is the headquarters of Kedusha. The Gemara explains that there are 10 levels of holiness in Eretz Yisrael. We're making Yerushalayim, the Beis Hamikdash, Kodesh, Kedosh, and those are the 3 top 10. Okay. The main point of the Golus is to be mevar those that were pushed off. She'eim anitzoytzei shenitchu meumkei aklipas bechinas like Golu Yisrael bein ha'oivdei kechamim ela kidei sheyizvasfu aleim geirim. Whoa! The Gemara Psachim says. The Gemara Psachim on Pei Zayin on 87, the second on B. Like Golu Yisrael bein ha'oivdei kechamim. Jews were not sent out amongst the nations of the world, the Gentiles of the world. Ela kadeshi is vasvu aleim gerim. Only so that way we can be able to make more gerim. Gemara says that. Shezeh bechinas hanetzoytzos Hamisrabim, Hamisbarim, Mayomke Aklipas. And this is the idea of the sparks. And we're clarifying. Mayomke Aklipas from the depths of the pure impurity. This is really hard to understand. We know that we were in Eretz Yisrael. We just had Tisha B'Av. It's so apropos to learn this. And we got exiled out of Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because we sinned in Eretz Yisrael. We're just learning this morning about the Bnei Eli. The Bnei Eli, right? Eli HaKoyen was the Koyen in Mishkan Shiloh, right? And his sons didn't go in his way. They wound up getting killed. And through them, the Aron HaKodesh, the Aron, was taken captive, was taken as a captive from the Plishtim. That's when that happened. We did wrong. It said that we weren't Noy covered Zelazeh, right? We didn't make Birchas HaTorah, or it was because of the Gimel of Averis Chamurais, right? Avodah Zarah, Gili Arayas, and Shvichas Damim. Okay. Ad sheyiskinu v'yashvu elav v'yavi lanu goyel tzidkenu. Until HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make a tikkun and bring us back with Eliyahu Navi, will bring us with bringing us Eliyahu Navi, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, v'adav kosher miyoygav. Nassan says this is very hard. Eich yeh tikva b'chutz la'aretz sheyeshuvu Yisrael. Ma'im b'mokim chiyuseinu v'kiddushaseinu shu Eretz Yisrael Eretz HaKadosh Shesham Ikar Kedushas Yisrael. Wait a minute. So you're telling me now that from going to be around the nations of the world, we're going to wind up fixing the sparks and coming back to Eretz Yisrael. But I'm not saying, wait a second, you were in Eretz Yisrael and we didn't get it right. We made mistakes. And we got thrown out. Im sham tisgaber Yisrael hayetzara ad shechtiyim. Eich yeh tikva shebechutz la'aretz shu eretz ha'amim avir ha'tomei. We know that the avir of Eretz Yisrael is holy. Moshe Rabbeinu was granted the opportunity to go on the mountain and to look at all of Eretz Yisrael with his holy eyes. Moshe Rabbeinu was betayar the avir of Eretz Yisrael. He purified the air of Eretz Yisrael with his holy looking at Eretz Yisrael. But when they're in Eretz Amim, Chazal tell us that's the avir atomei. That's the avir atomei. That's the impure air. We're not talking about air quality. I'm not talking about air quality that, in this city the air quality is better than over here. We're talking about the avir, the spiritual air. The spiritual air out of Eretz Yisrael is Tamei, Chazal tell us, where the air in Eretz Yisrael is holy. And that's why it says Eretz Yisrael, the avir is mechakim, it makes a person wise, because of the Kedusha. Sham yitaknu v'yeshavu Yisrael. So then we have no hope, he says. Hashem wants us to have a tikkun. He wants us to have the repair. He wants to bring us back. And Hashem doesn't want to take nikam on us. He doesn't want to take revenge on us. Jews think that Hashem does things wrong because he's taking revenge. Chas v'sholem. Hashem does everything because he loves us. He's not taking nikam on anybody. He wants to help the person. Linka Bayrak, Kol HaGolos v'Atzaros Heim B'Shvil Tikkun. All the Golos and all the tzaros that we go through. And boy, is Klal Yisrael going through a lot of tzaros right now. We're going through those tzaros to clean us up, to purify us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to quest you from those places. He's going to find you. He's going to find you. How is it when we were in Eretz Yisrael? V'chipasnu, v'darshanu, as Hashem Yisbarach, u'v'chutz la'aretz, amim nidrosh, v'nivakesh oisai. So how can it be that when we're in the Eretz Amim, there we're going to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we couldn't find HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we were in Eretz Yisrael? Aval be'emes kol zehu niflois tamim deir. All of this is part of the secrets of the way of HaKadosh Baruch Hu does things. And they are the deepest secrets of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's wonders. We know that everybody goes, we all have our down, we all have our ups and downs. My friend Meir Elkabaz always says that's why Breslovers, we like to drink 7-Up. Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam, right? 7-Up, right? You fall down, you get back up. You get back. You fall down, you get back up, right? You don't stay down, right? Unbelievable. Kashed lahem ki afes tikva chas v'shalom b'frad achshav b'seifa golas ba'akvas hayom ha'elu b'ikvas of the Mashiach now. Chevra, we're now in the ikvas of the Mashiach. We're in the mamish of the lowest part. We're in the lowest of the low. Kasha yodeh kol inish echad b'nafshay negia levova yimachayvav. Everybody knows in their heart what's paining their hearts and what's bothering them. No one's going to be left behind. And that's why this Golus is so long. Because Hashem doesn't want it to be like when we went into Mitzrayim. 1/5, 20% of the Jews went out. Hashem wants everyone today. He wants every Jew to come back. It seems hard. But for Hashem, it's not hard at all. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can put the thought in every single Jewish mind, in every Jewish heart, in the same split second, that we should all have a thought of tshuva, a hargosha of tshuva. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's no problem. It takes no time at all. Everyone can come back. Ki b'emes yesh lepamim shedaike kishada magia lemokim namach v'rachik me'akedusha miyayid miyayid sham daike yisayir b'sayir gadol Hashem Yisbarach. So let me explain to you the rest of the Torah. He cut it off over here, but let me tell you the rest of the Torah. He says like this. When the Jew goes to a certain place, and when HaKadosh Baruch Hu was making the worlds and destroying the worlds, and then Adam Arishon, he ate from the Eitz Hadas Taiva, right, caused more Shviras HaKelim, shattering of the vessels, and these sparks went to very distant places. They went all around. That's the secret of why we were in the desert for the years, and we traveled in some places for a longer time, like we spoke about in Parshas Masai, right? We traveled for a longer time. Sometimes there were more sparks to collect. Other places there were less sparks, and we only stayed there overnight. We stayed there for 2 days. We stayed for a month. There was more sparks, we stayed there longer. So he says like this: the Jew goes to this place, and he's a Jew that's not affiliated necessarily. But the Netzoitz, this spark of holiness, is Mereach. See, it's in Hilchas Birchas Hareach. See over here it says Hilchas Birchas Hareach. Birchas Haidah. The Netzoitz is Mereach. It smells, it senses a neshama. So when the neshama goes by, the spark attaches itself to the Yid. So you'll tell me that's something good, right? Now he has holiness. But the problem is, since the spark was there so long, the spark also attained and it acquired a lot of impurity. So now, this spark attaches himself to this Yid, and this Yid was whatever he was, but now all this impurity enters him now again. Now he seems like he's even further away. So then how does the Arizal tell us that because we were sent away, that's how we're going to come back to Eretz Yisrael? If now he went to these places and the spark came onto him and the spark attached itself to him, and now he got all the impurity that attaches itself to him too. He's in it even deeper now. So Rav Nosson explains like this, that every spark, every time this Yid, he has this spark of holiness. And it's too powerful for him. It's too powerful for him to understand this spark. So Rav Nosson says every time he does an Aveira, he takes the spark and he breaks it. And he does another sin and he smashes it again. And another Aveira and he smashes it and smashes it. He keeps smashing it, until it's so small. It's such a little morsel. It's a little morsel. There's nothing to it. His neshama, like we said before, al levavecha, right? Al levavecha. His neshama now can take this little spark and it can ingest it. And it can be enlivened by this little spark. He couldn't do it before. These are the wonders of Hashem, how Hashem does things. And then when that Yid does that, he'll start to think, I am a Jew. What am I doing here? He'll realize those beautiful words like we say in Kedusha every day. Miloi chol haaretz kevodo. Miloi chol haaretz kevodo. Hashem's glory fills the world. No matter where the Jew is found, Hashem is there with him. Miloi chol haaretz kevodo. Hashem is found in all parts of the world. No one can go anywhere without Hashem. If that's the case, the Jew is going to find Hashem. And then he'll try to find out about Yiddishkeit. And he'll find his local Chabad house. He may look online and he may find Eishat Torah, right? And we see these Jews coming from all over the world, from the strangest places. They're coming to Eishat Torah. They're coming to Chabadskers. Amazing. Why? Because it is klal here. There are these nitzaitzis that are around the world. We don't understand it. And some people say that's why the idea with Jewish neighborhoods, sometimes like even you can go, I grew up in New York. I know New York pretty well. And there are certain areas in Brooklyn that they're not the greatest areas anymore, right? I know my mother, she should be well. She grew up in an area called Brownsville, right? Today, you can't really go to Brownsville, right? Oh, it's getting a little better today again, but there's no Jews there. There was a lot of Jews in those places. So a lot of people say because the Jews were there, and they picked up all of the sparks that were in that place, that picked up everything that was there. Now there's nothing left, so they leave. The latest one that we left from Brooklyn was Canarsie, right? The Canarsie neighborhood, right? There were thousands of Jews living in Canarsie. Thousands. They left. No more sparks. These are the greatest secrets. You see, there's so many secrets in the Parsha. You see, there's so many secrets in even the Moshe Rabbeinu davening. And who would have understood that the Cheda Egel has anything to do with Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillos of going into Eretz Yisrael? And Moshe Rabbeinu's his svara that he made, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you made a neder that I and Aharon can't go into Eretz Yisrael. But now Aharon passed away. So it's only me. So that means the neder can be nullified now. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu reminds him, no. Your brother Aharon was a big tzaddik, was a big tzaddik. And you said to me, Zechoras Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael avadecha. Remember? Zechoras Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael avadecha. Zechoras Avram Yitzchak avadecha. And because I told you needed to have 10 people. 10 tzaddikim. But we didn't have 10. So you reminded me, hey, this Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And you told me that the tzaddikim, afilu b'misasam, kruyim, chayim, even when they're dead, they're still called alive. Oh, if that's the case. So now, Moshe, how can you tell me that I have to be mevatel my gezerah? Aharon, you told me he passed away, but you said that the tzaddik is called alive even when he passes away. You see the deep, beautiful secrets in the Torah. You see the beautiful tshuka that Moshe Rabbeinu had to come to Eretz Yisrael. I wish with all my heart, all Jews around the world, should feel that tshuka when they read this parsha. And we read about Moshe Rabbeinu, his desire, his pining, his longing, his yearning to come into Eretz Yisrael. I wish all the Jews around the world would come together. We would all come together. And I truly believe if all the Jews would pack up from all over the world and we would all come together, we'd all come to Eretz Yisrael, that would be the biggest nachas ruach for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos, and I thank you for coming and listening. And we should all hear B'Sayres Toivos. It should be quiet in Eretz Yisrael. It should be quiet with all of these rockets from the Houthis, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu it should take Nekama on all these Rishayim, Gemurim, Mamish. All they want to do is to see bad for Klal Yisrael. All of these guys, like you got this buffoon, Macron, and that other buffoon that you have over there in Canada, and that other truly idiot that you have in England. Oh, we're gonna make a two-state solution. Oh, and let's not forget Spain. Our beautiful friends in Spain with the Spanish Inquisition. And they say that we're creating a genocide. We should say to Spain, hey, you know something? What did you do to us? Where did we learn about genocide? You taught us. Oh, and Germany, you have something to say? Oh, really? And France, you have something to say? They had the concentration camp over there, Drancy. One of the worst concentration camps was in France. And these guys are the ones that are talking. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should take Nekama on all the Rishayim in the world. And he should just bring us final Geula Metz Hashem with the coming of Mashiach, Binyan Bayis Shlishi, B'Karav Yameinu Mamish. Thank you, everybody. We should all hear Besora Tovot.